What is going on, guys? This is the Cloud9 podcast, season 1, episode 15. Because this past week for the LEC and the LCS have been interesting. I'll say. I'll say that. It'd be crazy because you had G2 that ended up throwing a really one game against Misfits. Cloud9 ended up taking down Team Liquid in the rivalry week, but also ended up falling to TSM. 100 Thieves continue to dominate the LCS. They are one of the few teams outside of Cloud9, Team Liquid, and TSM not to automatically be in first place based off the pedigree of the big three orgs. The only other times outside of Cloud9, TSM, and Team Liquid being at the top of the standings were like CLG, Optic Gaming, and Immortals, and now you have 100 Thieves, that are at the top of the table now. So what's going on, man? How are you doing, actually?
Hopefully you can hear me okay. I'm doing fine. Been a busy week for LCS and LEC. TSM won the games that mattered, so I don't care about that dig game.
Oh yeah, as always, he never cares about dig games, guys. There's just a lot of things generally when it comes to League of Legends and stuff. And this week, because I wanted to talk about this last week, but I actually kind of couldn't get a chance to because I had to finish the show at a given period point in time. It was the replay files of the Cloud9 versus TSM rivalry, which is automatically, in a lot of people's eyes, way better than CLG versus TSM. And I still don't really understand why TSM versus CLG was really ever a rivalry. I never really got that feeling. Most of the time, give or take, TSM just beat the shit out of them. There was the stretch between the LCS 2015 summer split into that LCS 2016 spring split, and then leading into the MSI 2016, where that 3-period part, CLG was better. But other than that, TSM always beat CLG and pretty much always knocked them out. What else has CLG really did? I know today CLG had the news where they are getting a new head director. They got the Evil Geniuses guy, but it doesn't really matter, to me personally, unless I start seeing some changes. It really doesn't matter. I don't care who they put in charge. It really doesn't matter until, the org takes a massive difference in change, which I think they've been trying to do recently with this new roster of Pole Belter and Broxa and Smoothie, but they're not that good. They have one distinct playstyle, which I think is fine. I think their playstyle is fine, but for a team like them, they need that kind of playstyle. Otherwise, what are they really going to do? They're not going to be winning anytime soon. They're not going to win a trophy. They're not going to win playoffs. It doesn't really matter, honestly, So the best thing they can hopefully manage to accomplish to salvage this year is just making playoffs and potentially just getting knocked out in the first round. Or they could surprise in the first round of playoffs, actually. It's possible. What do you think, man?
I don't know how anybody can be a steal. That's first off. Second of all, I think ever since Double Lift left, they haven't been really relevant till Power of Evil. That one time where they made playoffs, I think they made to the second round. I think they need to start from scratch. Finn seems to be pretty productive.
Oh damn! You're turning into K-Dot. Holy crap!
You can't hear me?
Oh, I barely heard what you said. What in the world did you say?
Oh, I said Finn and Broxa. I would keep them and get rid of Smoothie, Pole Belter, Wild Turtle. I think they're still good. I think they just need I think you can I think you have a foundation with them, but I just don't see who thought that this if this was 4 years ago, yeah, I can see this team being good minus Finn because they were pretty much in their prime. But No, I just like it's just not fun to watch them. Like it's not like they're Golden Guardians, right? These are all players that went to Worlds, even Finn,
Mhm.
and they're not producing. I mean, they can't be feeling proud of themselves with this record. A lot of people thought I thought they were going to be better than Immortals at least, like with the veteran leadership. But I don't know if they're just not playing as a team or I don't know because you would think on paper they have a better team than Immortals and even Dig, right? But yet Dig and Immortals are playing better than them. So it's just really boggling. Like I thought with this roster that these players would have said to themselves, they would have gave themselves like a little challenge and say, you know what, all these other orgs didn't want to keep me as their ADC, their support or whatever
Yeah.
jungler, but we're gonna show them, and I feel like something's off because like you can't tell me that Raze and Destiny are better than Smoothie and Wild Turtle. Like if they were really playing their hearts out, you know what I mean? Like
so
I
So
don't
my
see it.
thing here with CLG is there's nothing really to their roster outside of just veterans and Finn, who's only been playing competitively for like maybe a year and some
No,
change,
three
right?
years now.
3 years
Like
because he was in like academy for a little bit or like ERLs, and then he got picked up by the Rogue Academy team, and then he got promoted to their LEC roster. Then he came to CLG. It's like I don't really know because it just depends on how people look at like CLG, because they're not really an exciting team to watch. And they're a team where, if it feels like they know how to play the game, but the caliber of players they have are just that much worse than everyone else. It doesn't really matter. It's one of these things where like it doesn't really matter if you know how to play the game. If you're just that much worse compared to everyone else, it doesn't really matter though, because like they on paper have a better roster than IMT, Dig, and Golden Guardians and FlyQuest. So that's like the four bottom teams right there: IMT, FlyQuest, Dig, and Golden Guardians. So that would automatically put them near like seventh or sixth, right? But
yeah,
outside of that, are you really taking CLG outside of like Evil Geniuses,
no,
Team Liquid, 100 Thieves, Cloud9, TSM? Not really, I
no,
just don't really ever see them doing well. Like, even when Cloud9 was struggling, they didn't lose to CLG. One of the wins that Cloud9 got this split was with King on the roster. And that was a decently close game where CLG probably should have won that game, but they still couldn't even close that out, They legitimately couldn't even beat Cloud9 when they had King, which is when everyone was pretty much beating Cloud9.
right.
Like that's just how like I see CLG. They're just not really that good. Like they had that week where they went 3-0. I was really happy about that. I'm glad they decided to get a play style that could somewhat decently work. But as we talked about before, the reason why that's not going to work long term is because they're inherently playing weaker champions to fix issues they can't obviously fix on right now, which is like the reason why you obviously play these weaker champions is because you're trying to surprise your opponent. Like sometimes, even during have you ever played like chess or checkers or something like that, where like someone does a move that's not really in like the standard and it just kind of throws you off? They probably feel like if I just throw off my opponents like this, they won't really know how to counteract against it. It's super simple.
Right.
You just pick a meta composition that does the same thing, except these meta champions are just that much better because they've been buffed recently, and the CLG champions are going to be inherently worse because these champions are nerfed. Like there was one of the Vi clears that Broxa did where he was like 30 CS down, but he ganked top. I'm like, it's kind of negligible. You're like 30 CS down, but you gank top faster than the Rumble, I think, in one of the games. It doesn't matter though. It just automatically didn't really mean anything because they still lost the game. So that's pretty much it. With CLG, I don't really think they'll be doing much this year. Hopefully, with this new guy coming in, there's going to be a change in CLG where the whole organization at CLG for just esports in general, needs a makeover. But for the League of Legends spot in particular, they need a makeover in like every area. Like, what is CLG's brand? What does CLG stand for now? What is CLG's end goal? How are they gaining fans? What are they doing to interact with their fans? Most of the time I see them interact with their fans, it's just like, hey, we're fighting this team at this time. Oh, yeah, we lost. Thank you for your support. Like, goddamn. Like, what is that half the time, Like,
Right.
I just can't really get into that, Honestly, there's no branding. It's not even about personalities. They have players with personalities like Broxa and Finn, Wild Turtle, and Smoothie, but there's no series based around these guys. Like I've always said this, how there's like a TSM Legends on Cloud9, like Team Liquid has like Squad, 100 Thieves has the Heist. Where is that for like EG? Where's that for Golden Guardians? Where's that for Immortals? Where's that for Dignitas? Where's that for fucking what's the other team I'm not thinking about? Yeah, FlyQuest, right? Where's that series for them? And like I know people said, how useful is that? If the views aren't there. That's not true if the views aren't there. Like your team would have to be popular for views to really be like that for your team. But it's not about the views. The reason why those series are really good and the reason why TSM, Cloud9, 100 Thieves, and Team Liquid still do them is because they give the fans a chance to connect with these players in a different outside, how would you say, it gives you a chance to connect with these players in a way that you can't connect with them on average through other means, right? It's just another way of producing content that makes fans want to be excited to watch your team, Like, right. Why is anybody watching any of these bottom tier table teams games if your players don't have any type of content that shows off who they are? Like, there's even specific episodes in TSM Legends that I watched recently where they just talked about Sword Art, his career, right? Where's that for CLG? Like, there's a reason why that kind of content still needs to exist in the league. Doesn't matter about the views. Who fucking cares about the views? And let's be honest here, even at the lowest views, it's going to be probably like 1,000 views. Okay, that's still not that bad. You're a bottom of the table LCS org. You probably put in like no work into branding, so your views aren't going to be like exponential anyway, That's my thing. I don't really know why people always bring up, well, the views are always really low on Golden Guardians, IMT, FlyQuest's League of Legends content because they haven't built up the players.
Yeah, there's no real like fan. There's no real hype or anything like that.
Yeah, there's just not really anything there, though, Outside of that, the whole Cloud9 versus TSM rivalry that the replay files did, I thought was just like, to me, pretty disingenuous because there was just so much missing there. Because they only talked about that LCS 2014 summer split where Wild Turtle got that crit off on Sneaky, and they obviously lost the team fight, right? But there's so much more after that, though. Like the double lift Lucian outplay in the 2016 summer finals. You had the Jensen Echo Zonias, but they did that this week, so that was kind of made up for that. You also have the time where Cloud9 beat TSM to make it to the finals against Team Liquid that one year in 2018, but they got 3-0'd. The Mithy Sven time on TSM where Cloud9 stopped TSM from going to Worlds for the first time. Then later on, 2 years later, you had the team where TSM stops Cloud9 from going to the Worlds for the first time ever. There's just so much stuff that was missing from that, there was so much that was missing from that, like Cloud9 finally beating TSM after like so many years. Because what people didn't know, you know how there was that golden glue Svenskeren roster in during 2018 summer. People need to realize, but outside of that best of 5 where TSM for Cloud9 versus TSM, Cloud9 hadn't beaten TSM in a best of 5 since like 2014. Like, it had been like legitimately 4 years since Cloud9 had actually defeated TSM in a best of 5. before that 2018 year, you know. And in 2019, it didn't really matter because TSM ended up beating Cloud9 in that spring split semifinals matchup, you know. So that ended up being like the rivalry just has had so many different phases all the time. Like one time Cloud9's on top and then TSM's on top for a little bit. You know, I just feel like the replay files did that just very, very disingenuous. That's a really great thing for the LCS that you just can't just put out and throw out one match with one narrative behind it because, you know, that's not going to really capture the essence of why the rivalry is fun. The reason why the rivalry is fun and what's exciting is because Cloud9 originally came into the league stopping everyone, and they took over TSM's throne as the best in the league, you know? It was automatically more exciting, you know, than TSM for the CLG. It was better in every single aspect. There was always better plays. There was always better map rotations. There was always better outplays. There was always better hype moments. It was always more exciting to watch. Every game was a banger. Even the ones that are considered like stomps are always bangers in some way. Like there'll always be something there, you know, between Cloud9 versus TSM. I just never got that with TSM versus CLG. Cloud9 and Team Liquid is an interesting one. That rivalry itself needs to build a little bit more for me personally, but it's there. There's a good amount of rivalry between like 100 Thieves, Cloud9, Team Liquid, and TSM. You know, because I think people recently have been like, oh, you know, 100 Thieves has now entered, and they've been talking, but they've been trying to like, you know, challenge the big three. Why can't we just have a big four? Why can't we just have a big four?
Yeah, it'd be nice. It'd be nice. I mean, I kind of beating on a dead horse. Not saying that what you're saying is facts. It's just like something has to happen from the top of management because, like, there's no way. Like, how do Immortals was looking like a joke team, but now they're looking like a mid-tier team right now, which is not bad. That's how you build up. You start off, you know, like Rogue was pretty bad in the beginning. Now Rogue is a top team in the LEC. Like, you need to have like simple goals in mind. Like, first goal, having a over 500 record at least, or like maybe going 8-10. That's reasonable, right? Like because it's your new team. Then next year you're like, okay, build off of that. Let's just make playoffs. Okay. Next year, let's just get out the first round, and then after that, let's see if we can
make semifinals.
And then once you get there, let's see if we can get the third spot for Worlds. Like, you know, you got to give yourself these small little goals that you can work on. You can't just like this, like with the whole SK thing. That was silly to think that they could make Worlds with the roster they have. Not because, you know, they're not professional players, but you're in a disarray and you think you're gonna make Worlds. It doesn't make any sense. That's really disingenuous to your fans right there. Like
yeah,
treat jungle.
League fans aren't like fucking brain dead casuals for movies. League fans are very engaged. Even the orgs that don't have a lot of fans, their fans know exactly what they should want from that organization. Like, even the fans on the SK Gaming Twitter page are like, okay, we're not making Worlds with this roster. Like, if the SK Gaming fans are like, come on, what are we doing here? Like, then what are you doing? How are people on fucking Twitter able to tell you what you're doing wrong better than what you should know? You should know because you're working in the organization. You see my point there, dude?
Yeah, like, I know. Yeah.
Just blows my mind sometimes how, like, you know, people just don't understand what to do to how to build. It's super easy how to build. Like, it takes time, though. It's not going to happen overnight, though. You know, even with Dignitas, I think they had something where they wanted to be the NA team with no imports, which I think it's kind of silly because, you know, I think import players are just better by a lot of stretch, you know, but and if they want to be a team that where it's just going to be NA players from academy getting shots, and that's good. I think there needs to be an org like that, and there's a way where that is valuable toward the league. You know, I truly think that there's value in that, but you have to be getting the best academy players. You can't be pulling people like Yasui. I'm sorry. You know, if you want to give NA talent the best chance they've ever had to be on a top tier, well, not top tier, a LCS org, right?
Right.
You need to pick the good players, you know? There's a
Yeah.
reason why that could be a good thing. You have to pick good players. If you start getting bad players, it's not going to work. It's also not going to work picking a veteran LCS jungler. Why not just give that chance to someone else who's never had a chance, you know? If you really want to be this like NA org where you want to bring out NA talent with no imports, that's perfectly fine. Try new players then. That's how you do that. And you don't pick players. We already know what their play style is. We already know how they pretty much function in game, and we know what they're going to contribute to a team. Yeah, I get it. You need like some veteranship, but the other three positions, the other main positions on Dig, like Fate God has not looked that good. You know, Yasui's definitely not looked that good. Acadian looks like okay. He had like that 1 week where he looked okay when Dig were on their winning streak. Aframo and Neo are still the best part about Dig. But I just don't get what is Dig's branding, dude? What does Dig do? You know? What is Dignitas's end goal?
They are looking I think they're just looking to get back to being, I don't know. I don't know, maybe just a good NA team and then figure out from there. I have no idea. I'm being really, I really don't know.
They want to be the org where they want to bring in like NA talent though. That's cool, but like that's only gonna get you so far though. So there's gonna be a period in time where like having just NA players is going to bite them in the ass because orgs with like imports generally do better. You know, TSM was at the top of the league for a very, very long time because they had Bjergsen, you know, because Bjergsen was pretty good, right? If they ever want to be a top LCS organization, maybe branding yourself as just an NA team is not going to be good because at a certain point, if you want to be on the next level, you have to eventually get an import that's at least somewhat serviceable and good enough to challenge the top of the table in some shape or fashion, right? There's no way that's going to happen with Yasui. I'm sorry. And maybe there is a player in Academy like that. Then give him that chance then. Because I don't see that with Yasui, and I don't see that with Fake God, and I don't see that with Acadian. The bot lane is fine. I just don't see that with their top jungle and mid laner. I just don't see it. And if they want to ever be considered a organization that's at least even on Evil Genius's level, you're going to have to not have a lot of NA players. I'm sorry, dude. Some of the NA players just suck. There's a reason why orgs import. Some of the players are just not good. Even if you develop them, even if you give them resources, they're just not good. You know, it's something that you just have to kind of face and factor in. Sometimes some of these guys just really aren't that good, and that's okay. That's fine. But don't be like, hey, we're going to be doing really all these amazing things when we know you're not. You know, it's fine to give these players a chance. This is their livelihood. That's fine. You know, but if Dig want to be in the big boy leagues, these NA players aren't going to cut it though. Like Cloud9 only has quote unquote the one NA player two, Vulcan and Blabber. You know, TSM doesn't really have an NA player, do they? Besides Spica, you know?
Yeah, Spica's the only one. I mean, their team is basically, I mean, Huni is an NA resident now, so
yeah. Well, you look at all of the top orgs, right? How many NA players are really on those orgs? And I know people have brought up this discussion before, you know, where like, you know, there should be more players in NA given a chance, but that doesn't bring you success though. And I know people are going to go, how do you know that though? Like, because my friend said, if I gave you a bronze replay and I gave you a gold replay, you couldn't tell the difference. That's not the point. The point is you can tell through the standings in most splits, the orgs that have the imports always do better. That's the point. We can look at the standings right now and see the teams with the most NA players are at the bottom of the table, and the teams that have imports are not. It's not about whether or not we can see the game from a certain level. That's an intangible you can't factor in, right? But what I can tell is there are orgs that have imports that do way better than orgs without imports. That much we know. Now, whether or not people want to go, oh, is that right or wrong? Doesn't matter, though. This is about winning. This is about getting trophies. It's about going to Worlds and potentially doing well at Worlds, And it's shown that having more NA players doesn't fulfill that, Golden Guardians and Dig, FlyQuest, and Golden Guardians, Dig, FlyQuest, and IMT have more NA players than the top orgs. Now, are those orgs at first place or at least third? No. EG has one. EG has one. That's Danny.
But he's pretty good.
He's actually, they show someone good. Danny's actually a pretty solid player. I'm really happy he's been performing pretty well, But even Evil Geniuses have, quote unquote, technically 4 imports. Most of the top teams are all imported, though. Like a team like Golden Guardians, obviously, isn't even doing well. They're literally all NA players, except, they had Newbie. And then now, obviously, he's on their academy team. So I just don't really get this whole, we're an NA team. Good. You just automatically told me you're going to be 5th place forever. Or maybe 6th, give or take. Now there was the period point in time, earlier this year, where they were doing really well with Dardoch, but then they took away Dardoch. So...
remember back in the day, though, before Jensen came, C9 was in the heyday. Was an NA team, though. It was a full, almost like...
This is before a ton of more imports came into the league, though, also, too.
Right, it was Meteos, High...
Sneaky, Balls.
Smoothie. Who did Sneaky have?
It was Elimination. It was Elimination.
Yeah, so they were an NA team that was doing really good.
They had it in that 2016 year, too, remember? They had... the first roster was Balls, High, Rush, Jensen, Sneaky. That's still 3 of the players are still NA, which is not that bad, right? In the summer of that year, you had Meteos, Bunny Fufu, Smoothie, Sneaky. There was still something there. I'm not saying that having NA players could potentially not get you there. We just saw this year with Dig. They almost got second place last split, even though you said that was pretty much a fluke.
Yeah.
They almost got second place, though. A few more wins go their way. They're in second place, actually, or fighting for a second place finish, right? But that was when they had one of the best junglers in the league in Dardoch, though. And they had that this split, and they got rid of him. And I'm like, okay. Dardoch, who knows, dude? Maybe if he was toxic, whatever, dude. I would have just stuck out with it until the end of the year and then kick him. Why sabotage your season right now? Is what he's doing really that bad? Because they've clearly been dealing with it since last year at some, type of capacity. But, the last thing I want to talk about before we get into the teams is the rivalry between Jensen and Bjergsen that got brought up because of the Zonya's Hourglass moment that is always going to haunt Jensen. But it's so funny to talk about because, having spoken to Jensen myself when I went to the LCS that time that I did, it's actually a really, really smart player. It's actually really good. Now, what people always get wrong with me, dude, is that I've never, ever discredited Bjergsen. I've always praised Bjergsen. I just personally always thought that Jensen was better most of the time. It's not to say Bjergsen isn't good either. I think he's slightly better. It's not like a big gap. If Jensen to me is like an 8, then Bjergsen is like a 7.99. It's not that big of a difference though. It's just in terms of a lot of the narratives that Bjergsen got, Jensen never got. Remember there was a split where Bjergsen had legitimately worse players than all of him, and then he got praised for that. And I'm thinking to myself, when I was Jensen, no one ever cared. No one ever gave him the same respect that Bjergsen got. Well, Bjergsen's now carrying his team with much worse players. Jensen did the same thing for 3 years when TSM had superstars in every single position, Right. Where's the level of consistency in that? And most of the time, TSM did better because they just legitimately had the better players in a lot of their positions, right? It was just a point where they were always going to win because they had better players, Now, contrasted with Jensen, and the reason why he explained he left Cloud9 was because you just have to be realistic with your situation. I understood why he left Cloud9. They weren't ever winning with him. They had good Worlds once, which is fine, but I think if he had ever won a title, he would have stayed with Cloud9 as long as Bjergsen did, for TSM, but he never won a domestic trophy. But he always did well at Worlds, which is fine, and it's one of those things where some players are a little bit different with that. Maybe doing well at Worlds will change how you feel about a domestic title. But just there were so many things about Bjergsen and Jensen that I feel like was just so disingenuous with a lot of the community and how they think about Jensen, though. Because one guy told me, dude, he was like, "Well, Jensen never respected Bjergsen, and that's the reason why he always lost to him." Not true. He didn't always lose to him. That's just not true. Because in that semifinals matchup in 2018, Jensen got the better of Bjergsen. Then he knocked Bjergsen out of going to Worlds for the first time. Then that after that, when he went to Team Liquid, he's also beat Bjergsen again, and he also beat Cloud9 again, taking 2 titles. So Jensen has 2 NA titles, the lock-in one, the multiple top 8 world finishes, the semifinals world finish, and the MSI 2019 finals finish. Then last year, his team almost got out of group stage if they had gotten an extra game because they also lost to Machi. You know, like I don't ever discredit Bjergsen and what he did for NA, you know, obviously, but to me, like, people always talk about world accolades and what you do on the international stage. Bjergsen just doesn't really have any, you know? That's just from my point of view. And I know, like, how can really anybody debate, like, having world accolades over having NA titles, though? Because most people don't even care about NA titles, though. Most people think they're trash or not worth it.
I mean, Bjergsen has that one IEM title, I guess.
There's the top 8 at Worlds finish in Worlds 2014.
Yeah.
Does that count?
I guess that counts. I don't know.
What do you think about the Jensen versus Bjergsen thing? I think it's like not as black and white as people always make it out to be. Oh, Bjergsen's just better. Yeah, let's just discredit world finishes, international finishes. Let's just discredit. I'm like, you fucking stupid. Oh God.
I think if Jensen had like 2 more titles, then the argument is like heavily favors Jensen.
Mm-hmm.
But because like of I guess Bjergsen, okay, it's not. I think also what Bjergsen brought to the NA was like he emphasized the brand of like TSM after Dyrus, whereas Jensen, he was kind of like second. I wouldn't say second fiddle to Sneaky, but when you think of Cloud9, people still think of Sneaky. They don't think of Jensen.
He never took over that franchise player type position role. True, but he also carried them for a while though. Like generally, when most average fans think of Cloud9 back then, it was just Sneaky. But Sneaky wasn't really carrying them like that though. It was Jensen. He carried them for a very long time though. That's why the fans got mad when he left, because it was like we just kind of lost the best player in the league to the other rival, you know? And then Cloud9 got Niski, and then, you know, obviously that went an interesting direction, you know? And I never really cared for if Jensen brought home titles, because like most people only care about Worlds anyway, you know? So what really matters to someone, like Worlds or LCS? I mean, pretty sure Worlds matters more than winning anything here, you know? And it always depends on the split and which split you're talking about and which narratives go into that split and which roster these guys have. You know, I just don't think it's a big gap between them at all. You know, like Bjergsen always played better when he was facing Jensen, and vice versa too. You always got the best out of both of them when you always saw them play against each other. Like, you know, Jensen always tried harder against Bjergsen, and you know Bjergsen always tried harder against Jensen. You know, I think it was our I think it was the LCS equivalent of having a Peyton Manning versus Tom Brady situation, though. You know, Tom Brady has more accolades, but Peyton Manning also isn't bad himself either. You know, it's like a point A, point B. I don't think one's better. It's just like maybe it's a point A to point B situation, though. You know, because I think both players did well for NA. Like Jensen did the best for NA ever had in the mid laner. Bjergsen changed how NA's been for, you know, years. Bjergsen literally came in and changed how NA thought of mid lane as a whole. That's pretty good in my own personal opinion, though. He was like the first import that proved that importing can work, though, and you can bring a good player, actually, you know?
I think Jensen will go down as probably.
Oh God, sorry, listen up. What happened?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you're good. Yeah.
Jensen will probably go down as, once his career is over, as probably one of the best NA players.
Has to be, you know? It just sucks that Bjergsen retired though. I would have loved to see more Bjergsen versus Jensen battles because those are always the most fun I think I've had watching a
No,
mid lane
you
matches in
don't.
League.
No,
Come
you
on, man,
don't.
because
Stop
I can't wait.
lying.
Hey man, I just can't wait to see Jensen smack around Bjergsen some more if Bjergsen ever comes back into the league. But no, it's just kind of bittersweet because the last time they played against each other, Bjergsen did win, and TL threw that series so hard. I was watching literally live throwing on my screen, but it's one of those things where like people can say whatever they want, obviously, but I make sure because I watch those splits, I have the facts, I have the stats to back up a lot of what I have to say. Because most of the Bjergsen fans go, I mean, he dominated NA. What does dominating NA matter? What does that matter? Please, I would love for someone to explain what the fuck that matters. Dominating this disgustingly shitty region we have. I'm glad he great dominated NA. And great, proud of you.
He did.
What
He
else?
dominated, and it is great. Like the thing is like I think like I don't want to sound like a fool, but I think most NA fans are delusional if they think they're gonna like we're gonna win worlds or it's like come on man, it's not.
So you have to cling to something, and I get it. Like we're never gonna win worlds, so you have to kind of
Cling
give
to
him
what?
something.
Cling to
Well,
what?
they cling to Bjergsen dominating NA. Like usually when it comes to Jensen versus Bjergsen, it's like we dominated NA. I'm like, but don't you all bitch about doing well at Worlds, which is what Jensen did? Well, in this one group, he got lucky because oh my god, you people are insane. You people are crazy. You don't even know what the fuck you're talking about. You're just grasping at bullshit. And I'm glad Bjergsen's a coach now. I think he'll do a great job. He's been doing a great job. Wasn't that TSM Legends episode where he was like, what's that quote he had? He's like, well, the region's not good and always focus on improving. At least he was being straight up with his players, though. At least he was willing to be like, straight up with how he like sees NA and shit like that. But, just wanted to make sure I talk about that. I wanted to actually speak about that last week. Like, I just hate how people discredit Jensen and everything he ever did because Bjergsen existed. He wasn't just straight up better. He wasn't. He was. They literally... Come on, dude. No, not even close. He was slightly better. He was slightly better at like a few things.
He was.
Like what? Roaming? Because Bjergsen definitely never roamed better. He definitely wasn't even like laning better. I hate Warren's trolling me right now. I love Warren. Oh my god. Some guy was like, well, Bjergsen won more MVPs. Okay. I'm just gonna only use this past split as MVP. Most people fraud the MVP voting, actually, guys, because let's use this last split as an example. And I know I can easily dismantle this person's argument easily. So he's like, well, why did Jensen win more MVPs? There was one split where Jensen had the most solo kills, right? And there was like one vote that didn't go his way, and he would have won, and it went to Bjergsen or I think Doublelift that year. I think I forgot. Okay. And it wasn't a player in the league. It was someone outside because Riot is stupid and they let people that don't watch the league, they let outside media have a vote too, right? So one vote didn't go his way, and that's why he didn't get the MVP, right? This past split, remember Power of Evil was supposed to be the first all-team pro mid laner. The reason why he didn't get that was because Riot lets outside forces vote for that, right? And that's the reason why Perks got first place. If they didn't let the outside people vote for that, Power of Evil would have gotten first. All pro mid laner. That's how you can tell this voting is like kind of flawed. That's why I have my own MVP kind of thing, because I feel like we can do it a lot better. I'm not going to let some outside force dictate who's going to win all pro team first laner. The fuck? What does a media reporter know about League? Even, dude, you talked about it too. Why didn't we all agreed on the last show we used to do before this one started going up? Like, why didn't Power People win first all-team pro mid laner? Like, what the fuck? That's literally biased.
Yeah, people are very biased, and people don't look at.
He legitimately played better than Perks did.
People don't look at the grand scheme of things, unfortunately. So,
all right. So now we can finally get into talking about some of the games that happened. TSM ended up going what 2-1. 2-1. Yeah, losing to Dig like you predicted. Don't you just love losing to Dig, dude?
Yeah, I said it's either they beat the teams that they are supposed to beat, or they lose to the teams they're not supposed to lose to. So As long as they beat Cloud9, I'm happy. So I don't
I can't
care.
stand you, actually. I just can't stand this man. Like, right when we lose, he's like, hey, man, you got fucking destroyed. Thank you. I
No,
love hearing
no,
that.
I remember the exact message I sent in Discord. Who won? That's all I said. I didn't say. I said who won. It was
Oh,
luck.
God.
Luck. Yeah, luck won that game. Sure. Because TSM had an early game comp, but we can get into that. We can get into that.
Sure, let's just bring up the game. I know why they lost. I watched the game. Vulcan doing his best diamond impression to fucking give up games, right? You know? I love that shit. I love our support who level 1 tries to ward and then just dies and the game's over. Some fans are like, the game wasn't as bad, dude. They were in the game for a little bit there. It wasn't exactly a blowout. Just don't watch League anymore. Go watch fucking competitive Apex Legends or some shit because you don't know what the fuck you're watching. This wasn't a banger game like normally. Oh, thank you. It wasn't normally a banger game you associate with like Cloud9 versus TSM. The one they played before this was way better in terms of like how they're moving around the map. Guys, the game's over at this point. Here, I'll just bring it up right now. The game's over at this point. Literally, this is how you lose games. Watch this. The game's over. And this is not Vulcan's fault. He probably invades with no one, and it's over. Game's finished. I'll explain why it's over in this moment, though, for people who don't watch League or don't understand as much. When your support dies like that, there's going to be no lane pressure for the affiliates going in. Also, the reason why you lost this game is because if he dies like that, that means he automatically knows where Blabber is going to end up pathing later on during the game. As Spica ended up pathing in a certain way that pretty much made Blabber ineffective, though. And then they also were getting bodied in this 2v2 consistently. And then when Aphelios is that far down in terms of farm, he's pretty much useless against Callista. You have to bank on scaling. That's the reason why they lost in that moment. It wasn't truly because of Vulcan, but then when you add in the extra gank at 3 minutes in, the game's over. Like, I knew this game was over. Like, you kind of hope out that they can, make a turn.
I mean, there was a point where the scaling was starting to. I don't know why Cloud9 went back to 2018 type of let's wait 29 minutes, guys, and we're gonna scale up and win. No, that's not how China, and that's not how even LEC's playing. Like look at their comp, right? Like, who's their early game aggression? Nobody. Like,
competition sucks. Like, Cloud9 have been drafting bad.
The composition is fine, but you can't, like, you already have Azir. Why do you have like Aphelios? Like, Gwen's gonna scale. She's mid to late game.
What happened?
Mid to late game, Gwen spikes up. You got Azir for your late game. Get like Varus or I don't even know if it was banned.
You sounding like K-Dot right now. What's going on with your internet?
I don't know what's been going on with my internet. It's been acting up. Is it the mic or is it my internet?
It's just your mic.
Yeah, I think I need a new mic, so I'll work on that when I get paid. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you're good. Yeah.
Okay, so like look at their comp, like, so like what I mean is, okay, you got a tanky jungler. Like, if you look at the top side for both teams, relatively even, right? Mm-hmm. Viego and Gwen scales both together. You got Victor, you got Azir. So far the comps are pretty even. Why do you have Aphelios though? Like, I get it. Like, I
provides nothing.
Like, he's good once you get 3 items, but you already have the Azir, who's gonna Azir's gonna outrange all of these guys. Like, unless Nautilus gets a hook and Perks is in a terrible position, they should not even be touching this guy. They shouldn't be touching Perks. Like, so they had. I think if you put, like, I don't know, like even Ziggs, because that's what teams are playing in the LPL, because Ziggs is basically the AP Tristana, because you can Ziggs
take towers a lot more effectively.
And with the gold, now that the second tower gives 600 gold, even after the Herald's gone, Ziggs is gonna, and that gives you an AP option as well. So, like, I just don't understand. Like, I don't mind the thresh, but again, just put like I don't know, something else, like just something else.
He just got bot gapped by Lost and Sword Art. That has to feel demoralizing. Like
No,
it's so
I mean,
crazy.
no, it's not demoralizing for me because
Oh,
I want to see Laws to get better and not hear every time on the broadcast. You know, TSM bot lane is the one that's suspect. Suck my dick. That's like okay, like who? What other bot lane hasn't been suspect this entire uh NALCS LCS split? Like it's just well, you know, not to beat on a dead horse, the Aphelios wasn't needed. If you had like a Tristana, which is still good, or like Kaisa, you know, because you know what Kaisa can do? Kaisa can say, I hit somebody with W, I zoom past everybody, and I can kill
mhm.
um those people. And then you got the Sharima Shuffle. With that, you got Gwen, who can basically chew through the Nautilus and the Volley that are tanky, and even Viego. So they had a comp. I just didn't see the point of the Philios or the Thresh. Like this could have been a different bot lane and they win. But I mean, to give credit to TSM, they also, you know, to give an unbiased look at it, the way Spica played and to make sure that bot lane he took one small advantage and
Mhm.
made it a very big advantage because like you can see here like in this fight the late game comp is starting to catch up with them. If TSM doesn't get these Drakes
What happened?
and if T,
You're
if T,
cutting out pretty bad.
oh if TSM doesn't get these Drakes and like gets these Barons, C9 wins this game. I'm not silly. Like I'm not gonna be
The
stupid.
problem here, dude, is where I have with these comps is like, yeah, TSM have scaling with Victor and Callista, right? But
No,
like, you
no,
also
Calista falls off.
Calista does, yeah, true. Like Calista falls off, but the problem here is like he got so far ahead early on that he was automatically going to take over the game. Literally, they just kept diving them. Like there's when Callista gets like far ahead, like how Lost is right now, all you do is just consistently keep diving. That's all you have to do because there's nothing that Cloud9 can do in the situation based off having a Philios that was like what at one point he was like 30 CS behind. I'm like, there's nothing they can do. Like you legitimately have a 4v5. Like Fudge, he played pretty well. Like Fudge has been playing pretty well for Cloud9, you know, recently. And like, you know, like Cloud9 did lose to TSM this past week, but they did go 2-1. They're starting to climb back. They're not at their spring form yet, but they're working on it. It's just one of these things where like I even said it, you know, last week, you know, in our predictions is you know, if TSM win the game, I'm not surprised. TSM are playing better at the moment though, you know. I'm not ever going to be delusional when it comes to that. You know, obviously rivalry's a thing, but you know, 100 Thieves and TSM, I did say if they obviously you know, lose to obviously beat Cloud9, it's fine. They're playing better right now and I expect it, you know. It's just like 100 Thieves 2-0 Cloud9 on the split and TSM 2-0 Cloud9 on the split. But Cloud9 ended up beating Team Liquid 2-0. That is this is crazy, man. I wasn't a huge fan of this composition myself. I don't really see the value in Aphelios or Thresh together. I've always thought that was a shitty bot lane in general when people play it together. Azir, Trundle's fine. Gwen's fine. Most of it was pretty good outside of the bot lane, you know, because like once Nautilus hooks Aphelios, it's pretty much over, which he did. Sword Art has looked pretty good this split so far. I know a lot of people said like he doesn't get his $6 million of value. I'm like, okay, sure, whatever. Look, because like what you're paid dictates how well you're gonna play League of Legends, right? The fuck, you know. Power of Evil, you know, he looked really well. He's looked good most of the split too. Like when we were talking about putting Power of Evil as the MVP of the split, I mean, that's not a bad candidate. Like you saw his Chaos Storms this game. Those were
Yeah,
fucking amazing. So those
yeah.
gravity fields he was placing, those were in such great choke points where Cloud9 couldn't do anything.
He really sorry. That's just the itis kicking in from food. He really he really had a he really has been stepping his game up. That's
Mhm.
one guy I would like to see win as much as I like any other team. I don't mind seeing other teams win the domestic title because I would like him to win a domestic title. Like
Yeah,
he's
he's
always
been.
been
Oh
he's always been
god.
second place. Like
Yeah.
even in EU, and it'd be nice for him to get a title. So
Him to finally win. I feel so bad when he loses because he holds it in so well though. He doesn't like ever break down. He doesn't ever like show emotion. But you know what? That shit hurts when he's always losing to, and he's always lost because the other teams have legitimately just had better players though. It's not because of him. It's always because he's normally the superstar of like most of his teams, and the teams he's always been on up until recently, like which is this, where he kind of has, been the star player for the team. But like even when he was on FlyQuest and CLG, they weren't ever going to win titles with those rosters. We knew going in. But the fact that they made finals and did well as they did, well, they only did well because of him. Like look at those orgs outside of Power of Evil. When he left, they became trash. FlyQuest became trash when he left. CLG became trash when he left.
Optic became the no longer exist. Uh,
Warren always just throws in shade. No matter where he can get the shade, he'll always just throw it in.
I just you see some light, it becomes darkness.
Oh my god! Don't you just love darkness? Don't I? Well, for you date black women, don't you? Actually,
I date all types of genres. That's as much as I will say.
all types of genres. Okay, okay.
All genres.
You dating
Uh,
LCS women? You dating Ovly or La Tigress?
I'll date either one of them. They look
Warren's
thick,
lying, guys. He's like, I would never date those women.
Lathicarus
La
and
Thickris.
I definitely would. And Olivia, yeah, sure, Olivia. I call her Olivia. I don't call her Avali. So
olive juice.
but I think I really wish. Part of me wants to say, I wish NA had like four spots at Worlds, but like it's looking like it's looking like 100 Thieves is going to definitely look like they're definitely getting a world spot. Like, so like the
I called
problem?
it. Aren't these in the finals, man? Called it. They're gonna be in the
I,
finals.
I
They
don't
might
know
not
about
win the
finals.
finals. They might not win the finals, but they'll be in the finals. I'm sticking by that. I'm sticking by it.
Aren't you a C9 fan? Shouldn't you say
Yeah, of
C9 in
course.
the
Of course. I'll be in the finals with them. And then they'll win their 5th title, actually. 5 trophies. All in a circle.
But I mean, I like, who man, like it's hard. It's hard to say which 3 teams. Like last year, you knew it was Cloud9 first, and then most people were saying TL, and it was between FlyQuest and TSM. But then that
But then,
changed when
when,
TSM did that miracle
yeah,
run,
and
which
Cloud9 fell apart, and then
which I
FlyQuest
was
got the spot. Yeah.
which I was a part of, and felt good that Cloud9 was
Thank
on the
you.
couch.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome. I don't
Thank
care.
you.
I don't even care that we went 0-6. As long as Cloud9 didn't make Worlds, I was fine with that.
I hate you so much. I hate your very existence on this planet.
And the fact that TSM lost in the first round to come back to win the whole thing, that's just
Yeah.
magical.
I know Double
But
Lift talked about that. He was like, well, if he did it on stage, that'd have been so hyped. But I mean, you still did it. Doesn't really matter where you did it. You still did it in general. Like, it's still a good thing to have in general. Like the top teams right now, which would be TSM and 100 Thieves, which is pretty much the top team so far. Hopefully, Cloud9 can play a bit better. I think Cloud9 could still be in your big three.
I don't think TSM. I think TSM is a good best of one team. They like they
No
need
faith in
to
the best of fives so far.
like I think they need to. I hope that the sports psychologist that they have. Oh my god, I must be really tired. Old age.
Man, man, it's crazy, guys.
uh,
It's nuts.
the I think remember when they lost that in the spring split. The I think their mental wasn't really good going into like those games against Team Liquid and when they first went up against them. Like I feel like if they won that first game, they would have been better. But the one thing I've seen they've improved is
Mhm.
they know either they've had games where they knew their win condition or they came back, which is you're gonna need that. Look at, and we're gonna talk about it later. Look at how G2 got slain this week. So
Blew my mind, dude. They watch. I what's that one white guy meme of him just sweating? I was just like that the whole time. I'm like going, what the fuck did I just watch? Holy shit! I watched that back because I couldn't watch it live because I was at work. I was like, let me watch this game because you talked about. I was like, let's watch this game. I was like, okay,
it was a banger.
It sure was a banger. Sure was. That is one of the games that'll go down in history as like a legitimate what the fuck. Like what the fuck was that? You know? But 100 Thieves continue to dominate the LCS. As Kobe said on the analyst desk, they are legendary, an 8-0 winning streak for 100 Thieves. They are the best team in the league at this current moment in time during the LCS 2021 summer split. They're literally 24-9. They haven't lost a game since losing to CLG. Remember, the last time they lost was against CLG in that upset for that 1 week where CLG went 3-0. You know, 100 Thieves has looked pretty good so far. I think Closer is the best jungler right now in the league. I don't think it's or Spica. You know, Spica and Closer have been the best junglers in the league so far. Because I know people talked about Blabber. Blabber ran it down for 5 weeks straight. There's no way you'll be the best jungler in the league for this split for me if you ran it down for 5 weeks. Like, come on, what the fuck? He ran it down for legitimately 5 weeks. Now he's been looking better recently, but you know, oh my god, he actually missed. He missed that, and I was like, holy fuck, like kill myself. Like, you know how Warren feels about pole belter. You know, Warren thinks pole belter should be retiring.
That guy is a criminal and a terrorist.
You see that? You see the Syndra miss? That should be a crime against humanity. Missing that. These lucky Syndra can do her fucking Q random and like other places where I can make up for that. But 100 Thieves continue to dominate the LCS. Like, and it's the thing with the Reaper squads. Like I talked about before, the Reaper squads always do really well in the regular season. I just want to see how they're gonna play in a best of 5. You know, they're doing really good right now.
What if they get 3-0 in a best of 5?
But there's a loser bracket, remember? So they might be able to make a huge comeback. But I do agree with that. I don't know, you know, how they're gonna fare in a best of 5 because 100 Thieves last split did terrible in best of 5s. Like, they look like they had no adaptation. They look like they didn't even know what to really do outside of in the game.
Was it really okay? Like, I feel like I really hope that this 8-game winning. Like, I'm not sure if teams just haven't figured them out yet. Like, I feel like this 100 Thieves team think they're G2 of, and it's like, hold your horses, bro. Don't I know, because I know for a fact Closer wouldn't do like Lee Sin bot against Damwon or against FPX. His ass would get destroyed. So not Closer, FBI. He wouldn't do that nonsense. So slow your roll, kid. Like, you know, eat your koala, your barbecue koala before you start doing stuff like that. Like, they need to calm down. I get it that they're showing that they're very flexible, which is good. Like, I'm not against that. That's definitely what I'm not saying, but it's like, I want to see you run that against top tier teams, and if you could pull it off against a top tier team, you know what? You shut me up, I'm good. But like, wasn't it against the Mortals? They did the Lee Sin bot. It's like,
this week, the game people talked about this week that got them thinking about 100 Thieves is what LS put out about 100 Thieves. It was the Team Liquid game. Now, when I watched this game back, obviously not through highlights because I watched this stuff through VODs before the shows, there was a moment in time where I'm thinking to myself, shouldn't this game be a lot more easily winnable? They were winning this game to a certain extent, and then they automatically were like weren't winning it, but it wasn't in a way that I thought was bad. You know, I didn't think like the way they were losing the game was bad. So there's just always going to be moments in League of Legends games where it just looks like a team could make a comeback, but it really doesn't matter when you have a team fight, though. You know, I didn't really get the criticism of the game unless I'm just not smart at the game, or do I look at the game a certain different way? Thank you, Warren. It's always great to have you.
You're welcome.
But like, I didn't really get why people were really criticizing them. They They were handily winning most of the game, and then they made like one mistake, and people were like, nope. See, that's the reason why they're not good. It's like every team on this earth makes mistakes. RNG, Damwon, T1.
Don't talk about RNG right now. They're so bad.
They're so bad, dude.
They're 1-5 right now. They're
breaking my heart. It broke my heart, man. Oh my god.
I don't know what they seem to have the worst MSI fatigue out of the major region teams for some reason, but that's another story.
Like, I don't really get the criticism of the game. Like, I get it, team, but that's how you get back into games, though. Teams have to make those kind of split decisions where they try to get back into the game. If they work, they look good. If they don't work, it's fine. I just didn't get the criticism. People act like, people always say, well, NA teams do nothing to kind of get back into the game. They just kind of sit around doing nothing. Team Liquid tried to get back into the game, and it worked for like 5 minutes, but there was no point in this game 100 Thieves were ever going to lose this game. Let's be honest here. Were they ever going to lose this game? No. It wasn't. Jensen played really well this game on LeBlanc, and that's pretty much it. You know, Team Liquid, what do you think about Team Liquid, dude? They kind of suck. Let's talk about Team Liquid.
No, they don't suck. They just need Alfari back.
Yes. Jenkins is not good. I told people this, and I'm standing by this, and I know I was telling the truth. Jenkins has looked dog shit outside of playing anything out of Kali. He has went negative in lane with gank. This game he went, oh my god. Look at this shit. Look at this atrocity. This is blatant game just wreckage this man is doing to his team right here. Let me show you guys right now when they pull up the scoreboard for this game. This man has went literally negative in a lot of his lanes outside of playing Natakali. Look at this. This man went 1-5 this game. He was 0-5 before this.
I mean, to be fair, he's going up against someday. So like I'm not gonna excuse that, but you know, like the thing is, okay, so.
I look at good.
I look at their team and like I don't think who he is a world class support. Like I think he's a good NA support. Like people forget who he was a mid laner for CLG for like God knows how many years, and he used to be the mid laner for 100 Thieves. If people forget that,
that's crazy, man. He was their mid laner and he played so bad, and now he's their support. That is just so weird. I don't know how that works.
No, he was there, and then he made a role swap to support from mid, and then like because remember who he was known for, his Aurelian Soul.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. Like it's so weird. Like people say you can never win anything with Huhi, but CLG won with Huhi though. It was just that we knew Huhi wasn't that good as a mid laner though. You know, he just wasn't a good mid laner. He was an average mid laner that was always at like peak, like the 4th best mid laner, which I don't think is bad, but like I don't know. It just always was. He was an interesting mid laner to watch. He wasn't really that good at it. I think he's better at support. He just doesn't really have the accolades as a support yet. To truly,
I don't see him beating like a Mickey X or a Hylissang in the lane. I don't see him going up against like Barrel or Effort. Or what is it?
He's on shit sandbox.
No.
Trash.
I mean, life. I don't see who he matching up against these.
Becoming Mr. Krabs again.
Oh, Jesus Christ! I'm gonna have to get a mic ASAP. I don't see that happening
against Mickey. He's not playing that good right now either. How about goddamn. The best supports in EU right now would be around Trimby,
Hylissang,
yeah.
And Kaiser's still been playing good though.
Kaiser's been playing good. You also have for like LCK. You have the guy who's the support on fucking Team One. I forgot his name. Kyrie, right?
Yeah, not Kyrie.
Carrier. He's been playing really well. Like Barrels looked solid. You know, like I don't know. Like I have to see these international games first to really judge it, but I think he'll do fine. but it's hard to really judge without actually seeing a play up against them. 400 Thieves right now, they continue to dominate the LCS. They are on an 8-game winning streak. Who's going to stop them? Who knows?
Golden Guardians.
Golden Guardians will stop them? Really?
It's
Team
always
Liquid
it's
couldn't
always
even
the
stop
team.
them.
It's always a team out of nowhere that takes off, that makes them go, that makes them break their streak.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and dude, it's one of these things where like I am fully bought into hopefully 100 Thieves winning because they've tried so hard to do well in the LCS and they finally have this grasp where they're in the league and they're considered a big org, and they've always been big outside of League of Legends. And I'm really glad that we got them with the whole franchising thing. I think that's been the best part about the franchising system is 100 Thieves where they came into the league. But there were moments where they weren't also good either. They're making like joke rosters too. But they learned from that and they're like, wait a minute, to do well, we're gonna have an import that's good enough to challenge these mid laners because they had Ryoma last split in and Demonte, and that didn't work out too well. I love how Papa Smithy was on the desk and he didn't want to throw shade at Demonte or Ryoma because he knew they weren't that good, and they only made one roster change. They made one roster change, and you saw the reason why they did very well. That one roster change completely changed them, and they're now at first place, dominating the league so far. But yeah, there is the big matchup next week. TSM versus 100 Thieves. Another rivalry matchup. I love rivalry weeks, man. Shit is epic as fuck. But yeah, we're gonna predict for the LCS, and then we'll get to talking about the G2 versus Misfits game. Actually, let me pull up Leaguepedia so we can predict them for the matches, and then we will talk about the LEC. The only game for the LEC, because I want to save our LEC talk for the recap, because there's only one LEC game anybody cares about this week. That was the G2 Misfits one. Because
there's some good games. I think
LEC
Fnatic
sucks, LEC is an inferior region, actually.
Fnatic is leveling up, which is good.
Fnatic is trash, That NSK Gaming suck, and EU is an inferior region. That's where Nerdman comes from, I'm just kidding.
That's the only time I would want to be from EU is for League. Other than that, no, thank you, European Union.
I mean, they have Queen Elizabeth, right? Does that count?
That's England. That's not Anyway, please show the video. You're making people embarrassing our education system.
Oh my god. Well, now since Cloud9 has played up against Team Liquid twice, TSM twice, and 100 Thieves twice, they don't really have any more big matches outside of like EG potentially is their other big match, but that's not really a big match though. Like, didn't they beat EG the last time? So the match is coming up. Yeah, the matches for week 6 of the LCS 2021 Summer Split are right here. The biggest game is going to be 100 Thieves versus TSM on Sunday, the match of the week right here. Every other game is pretty tamed. Oh, but you got to have the best rivalry in the LCS history, TSM versus CLG. Warren, how do you feel about that? This game's how fast will this game end?
Yeah, so TSM, we don't need it. TSM is going to win. I got C9 because I think FlyQuest is a garbage org since they got rid of all their players.
FlyQuest is done. They're on, 100 Thieves are on an 8-game winning streak. FlyQuest are on like a 10-game losing streak. Complete opposite.
Yeah. So I got TSM, C9, 100 Thieves. Wow, the IMT-EG is really tough.
Mm-hmm.
My gut wants to say EG, but then it's like IMT could easily beat them too. I'm gonna go with EG. TL, if they have Alfari for sure, TL, but still TL. That's what I got for Friday.
For Friday, I have TSM, C9, 100 Thieves. This one I'll give it to EG. EG also had a 3-game winning streak as well. Team Liquid versus Dig. I think Team Liquid could use this Dig game to bounce back. I'll say Team Liquid. Saturday, these are some jank games actually. TSM, Team Liquid, 100 Thieves, Cloud9, and fuck it, CLG. All these games don't matter at all. You could predict dog shit on this day. It really wouldn't matter. Like Sunday, Team Liquid, IMT, the match of the week right there. Who wins the match of the week? TSM versus 100 Thieves. This is gonna be
Oh,
pretty spicy.
you know who
TSM baby, let's
you know,
go. What?
TSM baby, let's
No,
go.
no, dude. Valkyrie is gonna come on stage and carry 100 Thieves, right?
No, no,
What do you mean
okay,
no?
okay. I think TSM is gonna figure out 100 Thieves and it's gonna give them their first. EG could give them their first loss too because I really think Danny is can gap FBI.
Mhm.
I really think so. Oh, I didn't even give you the predictions for Saturday. So yeah, TSM, TL one. I'm gonna go left field and say EG because I think they're gonna get their first upset.
Mhm.
C9. Uh, man, I'll just say FlyQuest because I feel bad for them. I feel bad for FlyQuest.
You sound like a dude that takes home a girl that you know will never have any sex, but just cause I feel so bad for you.
Yeah,
Warren
I
is so
feel,
nice, guys. Warren is such a nice person, man. Can't
I'm
believe it, dude. My League of
I'm
Legends co-host is so nice, dude. Warren, I could see you planting trees in New York to give you guys more green out there.
yeah, I would never plant trees. This planet's dead anyway. So uh Sunday, TL, IMT because they're looking much better. TSM, D9, and I'll say Dig.
Like, when we're looking at TSM versus 100 Thieves for the match of the week, would you say Spica and Huni are one of the best top jungle duels in the league for this split so far?
Yeah, and it seems
They've
like
been playing really well, actually. They've been getting no credit, dude. They played really well so far,
I feel
honestly.
like I feel like Hooney hasn't is still playing aggressive, but he is paying attention to the map better and not getting killed in lane and
What's up? You're Mr. Crabbing yourself again.
oh sorry. Yeah, that's Mike. I apologize to everybody out there. My mic has been giving me issues. Um,
This
I've
man,
been
like,
get,
is probably getting fucking sucked off during these streams. And
I
he just can't talk properly.
listen. If I was, I would have told you let's reschedule. I literally would be like,
What? You're gonna choose
a woman
girls over me?
over me.
You're gonna choose
Yes,
girls over
yeah,
League? What? You're gonna
yeah.
choose having sex with girls over
I would.
me?
I'd be like you'd be calling me like, hey man, you're gonna just uh, can you reschedule, please?
long day at work, and I know you don't have a job. If we actually said that long day at work, I'd be like, this man doesn't work yet. What the fuck?
No, not
Like,
yet. But
straight
I
up lied
actually,
to me.
I am doing these test cases for my
Mhm.
school, so they take up time. But
Ziak
I
says Spica and Huni have better synergy than Someday Closer, but Someday is normally left on an island. Yeah, like
so is
Spica and
Hooney.
Huni's been left on an island too, but Spica gives him more jungle attention than Closer does, which could be a deciding factor because a lot of the TSM games, Spica goes top lane and he helps Huni a lot, and they always snowball through top lane too. Like they're a really good jungle top duo, and Power of Evil against Abadage, that's pretty even right there. That's a really hyped mid lane matchup right there. Power of Evil has been what MVP candidate for the split, and so is Abadage though. Because dude, I know you said Power of Evil, but shouldn't you consider Abadage to be in your MVP category as well?
Who?
Abadage.
Who?
I hate this man. Oh my god. He's trolling me, guys. He's legitimately trolling me. I'm gonna go insane. Oh my god.
Oh,
Like this
Abadage.
is a really good this is a really
Faker
good bot lane
Dage.
matchup. Faker Dage, dude. Also get a factor in, man. FBI and Huhi versus Lost and Sword Art. I think 100 Thieves would have to win to their bot lane to have any significant difference to beating TSM. Like, is Lost gonna really always have these standout performances like he had against Cloud9? Let's see him do it consistently. Who knows? Maybe.
I feel like at least the one thing I gotta give credit to TSM is they didn't make any big you would think after they lose a game or so they haven't made any real roster changes. Like remember Cody Sun is still a good ADC in my book. I think I personally I would
good, yeah.
I personally, as much as I like FBI and I'm a TSM fan, I have nothing against. I mean FBI Lost rather.
Mm-hmm.
I have nothing against Lost. I think Cody Sun and Ignar would have been a super aggressive bot lane. And remember, Haunter is waiting in the works to come back too. You gotta remember that. So like,
Hunter would improve the top lane game in the LCS if he came back. I don't care what no one says. Well, he's not that good because no, he's fine. People are just fucking pussies and stupid. I don't know what the fuck they're talking about. He would definitely improve a lot of these organizations when they need a top laner, though. Like, I don't think the top laners we have right now are bad, but it's like, I think he would be a massive improvement on most org. Like, he would be an improvement for Dig. He'd be an improvement for Immortals. He'd be an improvement for Golden Guardians. He'd be an improvement probably over Licorice, but who knows? Licorice's brain has been fried ever since joining FlyQuest.
But I think the reason he went back to TSM is because I think it's one of those things where he was on Team Gravity or something like that.
No. He was on Golden Guardians, remember?
No, like back in the day, like
it was Gravity and TSM, Golden Guardians, and back to TSM.
Yeah. So I think it's one of those things where he's like, you know what, I'll just end my career here or something. So
I'll just chill and take sexy Instagram photos, right? That's what he's gonna do.
I mean, I can't complain. The guy's been the world's a couple times as well. He was considered a top gamer for the league at one point.
Yeah, guys. SpongeBob is back in. I'm gonna start calling you Mr. Krabs now. That's your new thing. You're Mr. Krabs.
Once I get a new mic, this mic is like the foam's coming off the headset, the wire. I have to wiggle it. This is something out of something out of like Best Buy. That's how bad it
that shit is out of the fucking clearance sale at Walmart. And those fucking giant bins are selling $5 DVDs from. That where you buy your fucking shit from? You buy those $5 DVDs from Walmart and shit?
No, I gotta get a new headset, guys. I really do apologize if it's terrible, but
it's only like just random. It's not consistent, but like I don't know, man. I think 100 Thieves should win. 100 Thieves or TSM, either or is fine. But just can TSM break the winning streak 100 Thieves has? It's possible. I think it's very possible.
I mean, they beat Perks, and they did
take on Cloud9. Cloud9 we're gonna start a new winning streak, but then TSM stopped it. I'm gonna say 100 Thieves win because I know I want to miss rubbing in Warren's face when his team loses.
What happens when they lose though? Are you gonna message me too?
I'll probably just get naked for a stream. I don't know, man.
I don't think they want to see your 10-year-old body.
Wait, what? I used to be buff. I'm gonna start going back to the gym. I really am. I gotta pick out a time of the day where it's gonna go back to the gym. I'm gonna start. I miss working out so hard, but it's just like, working shit. But there's a few more rivalry matches coming up in week 7. You have TSM versus Team Liquid, and then after that you have 100 Thieves versus Cloud9 again, and then you have that's pretty much it. I think for a lot of these games, there's a few more rivalry matches, but hopefully 100 Thieves finishes off TSM. Just can't wait to see the salt on the TSM fans' faces when they lose to 100 Thieves.
All I hope is that you gotta remember, whoever gets a good record, you want to get a good record because in case you foobar the first round, you have that second chance back in the losers bracket now. So that's what's important for me as a someone that's rooting for any of these top teams. If you don't even have to be if you're a Team Liquid fan, C9, 100 Thieves, TSM, you want your teams to do well because you don't want to be one and done in the because every team wants to make it. Remember, there's no gauntlet anymore. It's like
it's either like you got to get to Worlds through the new system. And you got to kind of factor in your placing matters. Like, you don't want to play against a team that has the potential to upset you. Like, if you're like a Team Liquid and the first round opponent you get is you're fucking facing 100 Thieves due to like the seeding, potentially you're kissing your world spot goodbye, Because if you lose and you have to eventually go up against like a TSM or Cloud9 through another bracket, whoo, yikes. Big fat yikes. And for Team Liquid fans, I feel so bad for them, dude. Like, they legitimately do have a good roster outside of Jenkins. I just don't think Jenkins is that good. I think he's just trash. Put in Alfari. I'll say this right now. If Team Liquid want to go to Worlds this year for 2021 Worlds, you put in Alfari. If I don't see Alfari, you're not going. That's my stand right now. They've been playing so dog shit without this dude. Maybe it's the TL players that don't want to play against or play with Alfari, and that's their issue too, because they're also not going to Worlds. And even if they went to Worlds, they wouldn't do well with Jenkins. Let's be honest here, man. They're not going to do well without it. Alfari. They paid a lot of money for Alfari. He should be playing with them right now. I don't know the other behind the scenes issues that they might be having, potentially, if they are having any outside of like Jack leaving and shit, man. But like, if they want to go to Worlds, they're going to play Alfari. Keep playing Jenkins and keep having weeks where you're going 1-2. You'll face like TSM, Cloud9, or 100 Thieves in the playoffs and get knocked out twice and you're finished. I just don't see them doing well without Alfari. This is a joke we're doing right now with this dude. Like, what are we doing? Why are you playing Jenkins? This guy has been negative in lane. He's every champion's not a caller. He's lost on. He's went like 0-5. That's respectable to these people. Him going 0-5 every single fucking game over Alfari, who had the best stats in the fucking league.
Are you a TL fan now?
Blows my brain to. Let me put on the TL jersey. Let me do that. Ugh, me. But I can't figure out. Oh god, I'm old. Warren, help me out. I don't know, man. If they want to go to Worlds, you'll play Alfari. If not, keep playing this fucking joke, dude.
Listen, if they don't go to Worlds, I got another TSM logo, icon. So hey,
yeah.
I support my teams.
I hope Cloud9 goes to Worlds this year. I hope they do. I love always getting those little icons your team gets when they go to Worlds and shit like that. I love Flash.
Yeah, actually,
I love that. Dude, remember how they were debating on not doing it? I'm like, that's stupid. Fans love those things, man. I love showing off my support of my team all the time in game.
I'm surprised, and this is off topic. Like 2018, I think. Yeah, 2018. They
the best bundles. Those are the best bundles ever, man.
Did they? I think they can't. Oh, 2019 was the last time they did. So you remember always at the start of the season you could buy like
the icon with the year logo.
Yeah, but since now it's just like
a chance to do that. Yeah, they canceled that. I don't know why. And I don't know why we only get a chance to flash those icons during like special events like MSI or Worlds. Maybe it's just to show how special they are if your team makes it. I get it. You gotta make some type of novelty to it. I get it, but why can't you flash these icons all the time though? Like in 2018.
What do you mean by flash them?
So you know the icons that we got for the team passes that we got in 2019. Remember we had those team passes with like all the orgs in the league at that current moment in time where you could like get a team pass for your org and you just flash your icon. Why is that only ever during like special occasions though? Why can't you do that every year to show off your support? I would love if you had that why can't it be every year though? Because people are like, well, the reward system was kind of weird. It doesn't matter. I just want the icon though. I don't want the rewards. I just want the icon. That's all I care about. You know?
I just want to support my team. Like, I don't know. Hopefully they're still in pandemic. I don't know. I don't even know if offices are back into like
yes, Mr. Krabs.
Oh, shut up. It's the stupid ass mic, man. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, I hope they pick icons. But let's talk about the game that got me a lot of points on when I bet against them because I hate G2.
This man is the G2 hater. So yeah, G2 versus Misfits. Misfits Gaming is the best team right now in the LEC. They lost to Mad Lions in a really interesting fashion. Mad Lions been playing a lot more better in that game, but then they ended up losing, I think, in the next game after that. The narratives for this week were XL Esports' new players look really good. These players might get them to playoffs, though. Playing, what's his name? Marcoon?
And Marcoon, yeah.
Go like, hey, credit to XL. They have some good players for those two. Use those guys. If XL Esports want to make playoffs for the LEC 2021 Summer Split, you play those players. Take out those players, you're back to the same dog shit year before. But the most interesting game this week was G2 Esports taking on Misfits Gaming. G2 Esports were in handy control of this game for quite some time. But then it comes this fight. This fight right here. Right here. Is it? I'm pretty sure it's...
No, this was... Well, okay, so you stop it right there. So I'll tell you. So G2 has the Baron. So I don't know why G2 decided that they should fight a team that has Elder. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Like, you have Elder. You're going to kill these people. Like, look at that. You saw the moment he got to 25% health. boom, dragon spruce out of you. You see the wings pop out. Woo, whoosh, you know.
Whoosh. What the fuck? What are you, 4 years old?
like
Holy shit.
it's like you gotta scroll back to like 4 minutes and 40 seconds on the there's only because this is just the highlights, right?
Yeah. This is
Yeah,
just kind of show the viewers the easiest shit.
yeah. So if you go to 4 minutes and like 30,
Mhm.
4 minute and 30 seconds.
On the VOD? No, let me
Yeah,
put the
on
VOD
the
up. G2
yeah.
versus Misfits.
Yeah, you could you could see it there because I was going off of your time on YouTube.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Let me just bring it up again really quickly. I don't want to see no Mandalorian. I'll watch Mandalorian soon. I gotta watch that first. Ahsoka. Damn. Looking pretty cute. Damn. All right. So let's go back to this. Skip this. 4 minutes of time. Let's go to 4 minutes on the YouTube timer or on the game time.
4 minutes on the YouTube timer. It's like 4 minutes and 30 seconds.
There we be there right now. Okay, there we go. Oh my god, after this I'm getting food because I'm starving. Holy shit. Oh, this part of the game. Oh, it's like, oh my god.
Okay, so like we play this through, right? They have Baron, right? Okay. And it's like, all right, they chunked them down.
Mm-hmm.
You see that they're gonna get an inhibitor. Okay, and they don't look like they can end. So I think they don't catch anyone out. They're like, okay, they reset. Like I wouldn't risk this. Like this is their only chance to win.
Wonder's in a really bad spot. Look at a bad spot he's at. He's in such a bad spot.
Look where Yankos is.
He tried flanking on Diana on a team that just got Elder buff.
Yeah, like that doesn't make sense. Like if I were G2, I would have took my losses and just be like, hey guys, let's call it off. Let the Elder go out. You still got your tier 2s up. It's not like they can't. Like the thing is, like they don't have a lot of damage. The Mundo's gonna absorb Syndra's ult.
Mm-hmm.
Kai'Sa's gonna tickle, and then like they just had to play smart. Like I don't know if their brain shut off. Like I'm not saying
that happened. Their brain shut off. That legitimately happened.
I'm not calling G2 stupid, but like that's like if you get Elder, like having those 4 Drakes didn't even matter because the execute from the Elder is like, well, like I just this was a good gank that they did. And they oh man, they can't mid lane. Like I don't know what
they wanted to make sure Vithio had no fun this game.
He had no. I don't know how. Like, thank God there's no flare cam because I would have a pissed off face if I kept having they kept like Leona and Diana is like, here again like Jesus Christ, like look how many ults he's using for this one man.
Bro, those are the games you play when you know you're just not gonna have fun. Those games you're just like, I tell my friends, hey, I'm muting my mic because I just have to be alone because this shit is fucking tilting the fuck out of me.
Yeah, this is one of those games where you're pissed off. Like that's int. I have no idea.
That was inting its ass off. That looks beautiful. That looks beautiful when you're watching this live, but you just realize Razor just literally
no. Well, I thought it was int when I first saw it, but Reckless he ulted Lee away. That's why if he didn't ult Lee away, that was a solo kill.
Who so far is your mid-season MVP so far for the LEC 2021 Summer Split? I'll just say Razork, man. He looks really good.
Harriet has been like you put him on an island, you put him on a carry. He's just been like I feel like Misfits got a steal with Harriet. Like I mean he did well in lane against Wonder. Like look, it's 22 minutes in the game, and I know he's 0-0-0, but like
that's a lot of people just look at score lines to determine like how well someone did in the game. No, he played pretty well. Razork and Herit have been playing so well this split. It's been such a good thing for Misfits to have these players like doing well. They're not good in a duo sense, but they're good individually, which has been making such a different factor for Misfits.
well,
Like,
he's
because GT,
definitely
they're winning this game, though. Like, look at this game, dude. They're winning this game. This is a one game from
yeah.
them if they actually just play it correctly. But no, they want to just fucking take Baron, not use it properly, can't force anything, and not push side lanes, and then 50-50 an Elder. Like, what the hell, man?
Yeah, like if you go back, so go to like if you go to 4:30, right? Again, and we just pause it at 4:30, okay? And
Right
this
here.
is
What do
what
we got?
like no, not for a little bit more like when they're at the Elder, because I'm gonna show something to you which I didn't get,
Okay.
so I can't really see. So Caps has TP. Pause the game right there. Pause the game right there.
Shit. Look at this troll
Caps
shit.
has Caps has TP. He could TP and force them to go back. Look on the mini map. Like look on the mini map. If you full screen your yeah. If you full screen, it is. Sorry. So if you look right, because I got a full screen. That's why. So they have a ward right here where Caps can TP.
They have a ward right there where my mouse cursor is, right here.
No, not that ward. Like the you see by there on blue side.
Yeah. Oh, you're right. I see it. No, I get. Okay, I see it right there. I see it right here. There you go. Yeah.
They have war. No, I'm not talking about the fight. I'm talking about like he has TP.
Yeah.
But they have a wave in the top lane that he could easily TP, force them to come back. Like this fight's like leave Mickey to die. Just leave Mickey to die. Run away and TP. Get an inhibitor. Force them to back, and then you because Tristana does scale, and she would demolish anyone that's not Vander without an alt or. So like I didn't understand why they just didn't use macro. Like why did they try to brute force this? Like this was literally a silver fight. Like we're gonna 5v5 and win the game.
Yeah, guys. All we gotta do is group, guys, and we'll win. Just
we're gonna group. We got a tank. He's gonna tank and peel. Dumbass. This is like.
Look at this shit. Like, look at all this troll shit they're doing, man. Like, oh my god, they played so well. Look at this fight. They played so well, and they managed to kill 3 people. Now this Baron fight right here, with our Baroned up, this should be a 1 game right here. This should be a 1 game right here. Like, if they kill VTO, it's pretty much a 1 game.
But pause the game right here. Again, they have a wave in the top lane. Like they have a wave that's starting to push slowly. Why not just reset? Okay, they get Elder. Cool story. I even like cool. They get Elder. We just won't fight them. That's it. We just won't fight them. Instead, they want a 50-50. Look, and that's why Set is so good. Yeah, I may take damage and just throw it back at you. That's a cool design.
Do you think like G2's composition is good? Actually,
yeah, because like pause it right here again. Like if we pause it, look at the top side to the right, where you see the wave about to crack. The wave is on. You see where I'm looking, right? Where on the top side there's a little.
See it. Yeah, I see it.
Yeah, you see the red that. So now, if Caps TP is coming back out, okay, we know that Mickey's gonna die. Now you can play it, right? So Mickey's gonna die. Let Mickey die. Right, that's 1 Baron. Okay, like Reckless still has his jump. Okay, Mickey's like you. There's nobody here. Just back off.
Why is Caps not respecting the headbutt pulverize? Caps is not even respecting it. Look how close this man is to a Alistar and a fucking Syndra. Why is he this close? Why is Reckless and Caps by themselves with no escapes alone? All Lucian has is a dash, and all Tristan has is her W jump.
I mean, Caps gets out. Okay, right here. What are you doing? What are you doing, Mickey? Like
what is Wonder and Yanko's doing? What?
They're doing their best impression of Hillisang and Gilius, I guess. Like I have no idea.
What the fuck is Wonder doing, man? What? I get why Wonder's doing it. No, I actually don't. Hold on. Wait. Why is your tank not next to your non-escape AD carries?
Well, I mean,
Yanko's by himself is flanking. Yanko's by himself flanking is fine.
I mean, Wonder
He wasn't front. He was trying to frontline a loss. What the hell?
He was frontlining. Like it's
Oh, you
not like
sure? Look at what he does. Look at that troll shit. His carries are all done. Why is he not in front of them? Like, it'd be better if Mundo and Leona were in front of them as they're like free firing. But Wonder's like, you know what? Let's just like walk in between them. He walked so far between them, they didn't even hit him. He didn't start getting hit till right now. This is how bad G2 has been playing, and that goes into G2 as well. Like, do you think it's probable to start hitting the G2 panic button right now?
Yes, because look at Fnatic.
They're playing bad. They're playing bad.
Fnatic literally had a role swap and a new top laner, and yet they are doing much better and seem like they're getting more cohesive with each week. Like I don't want to say it's a perks factor because it's not.
I don't want to say it's reckless either, man. I don't want to say it's reckless, but it's
something's going on with shot calling. That doesn't like it. Like I'm okay. You can laugh, chat, whatever. I'm bronze, but if I see that the enemy team is already get elder, I'm pinging to back away because we cannot win that fight. The moment you get below 25% health, it's an execute button. So it doesn't matter that we have 4 Drakes. They're gonna win that fight, and it's not like we have the towers. So take your losses. Let Wonder would out of anything, 2 people die. They get like maybe a tier 2 and an inhibitor. They had their tier 2s. Just I don't know. Just wait it out. Like I think maybe they thought the game was getting out of their hands, but.
Mm-hmm. They were in no position to lose the game, though, either. If you really look at that game, on any given average day, dude, even shitty dog shit teams like Team Vitality, if they're in that position, win the game. They're in prime position to win the game. Either they're overthinking, they're over communicating, they're not all on the same page, or they have different ideas on how to close out the game, which they shouldn't. If I look at that game again, at that point, they lost. What the Misfits were... Oh my god, look at this troll. Like, oh my god, this is so brain dead. What the hell? At that Baron fight you were talking about, look at G2's gold lead. G2 is 10,000 gold ahead right here. 10,000 gold ahead right here. And they lost.
Yeah, I think that Jankos is just not he's not a carry.
He's just invisible. And dude, it's not all Jankos. I know a lot of people always say it's his fault when they lose games. They're all not playing good relatively. Like Caps has had a pretty terrible split so far. And I know I say GG, they were playing fine.
Like this is stupid. Like, that TP, like this TP was stupid. You want to know why
Wonder wasted TP? Wonder and Caps could have TP'd. They let Misfits have Elder, and they could have just started slam dunking top lane to force more pressure. The problem they have an inhibitor down bot already. Look at that right there. They already have an inhibitor down bot.
Go back like to 435.
Right about
440. 440. Sorry, 440.
No problem.
Wait, no, 445.
I'm sorry. You're a woman on her period or some shit. I hate you.
Okay, 445, because it's gonna go. So, Wonder TPs to that.
Mm-hmm.
Why not TP? Now pause it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you see to the left of their left. Well, I guess it'd be our right since we're facing the screen. There's the problem that they have right now is that the Mundo is not in the front line, so he can absorb all the damage. If Mundo was in the front line, like I know this is gonna sound like, well, that's obvious. Mundo's not a flanker. Mundo is supposed to take the brunt of all the damage.
Yeah, Mundo doesn't flank. The fact that he was in that position is so... Diana can flank. I get why Jankos was right there. That makes sense to flank.
Yeah, so if we were to replay this, if they're all see the Mundo, then Diana would have had free reign. But because Mundo couldn't be the front line, that's why Diana's just Giga deleted, because the Mundo had to come around. Everybody was already getting attacked. He didn't really absorb all. Like, look how long he stays alive for. Like, could you imagine if he was
in the front line defending Lucian and Tristana
from the beginning? They win. Yeah. They would win the fight. Like, and they have that ward right there that you said
Mm-hmm.
the pink ward where he could have came, walk around. I don't know if G2. I think maybe it's the pressure, but again,
Well, the pressure's
these are
going to be on them next week, dude, because guys, for the announcement for the LEC, they are finally moving back to stage play. I don't know if they'll have a crowd. I don't know about that, but I know for sure coming into the LEC 2021 Summer Split Week 5,
yeah.
they will be playing on stage. So all the competitive regions will be playing on stage once again. Hopefully on stage maybe gets better, but we saw them on stage last split. We saw them on stage previously in the playoffs for last split. It was not looking good, man. It was
Well,
just straight up not looking good for them.
listen, I'm not a G2 fan, but
Oh my god, dude, it's irritating because you know the team is good. You know their caliber of players are good. These mistakes shouldn't be a thing.
well, let's hope that playoff G2 turns on, because if they don't, we're gonna have this will be the first time G2 doesn't make worlds. So
Ever,
I
because
guess
they've made I think they have the longest world streak so far since Cloud9's lost theirs. They've been to every world since 2016. So if they don't go this year,
yeah,
yes.
yeah, that'd be a new streak broken, and I'm pretty sure the new meme will be no perks, no
No
worlds.
worlds.
So
No perks, no worlds. That'd
no
be
perks.
funny as fuck, dude. They just and then that's crazy. They're both bot laners because Perks wasn't a mid laner when he left G2. That'd be the
Yeah,
craziest shit. Oh my god, man. But yeah, the last thing to talk about very, very slightly is XL Esports had Markoon and Advine burst on. Play those players. Please play those guys. Do not play the other guys again. I don't want to see it ever again. Play these two and win. That's all you need to do. Use these guys to get playoffs. And if you want to shake up your roster or make your org look worse, do whatever. Just all you got to do is play these guys. Because I want to save most of the LEC talk for like the recap we're going to do. But overall, the LEC looked fine this week, though. It looked pretty good. Outside of the G2 thing, because like G2 is the biggest narrative right now for the LEC. And like, do you think they're going to come back? I don't want to hit the panic button yet, but it's not looking good. You think if they would add Nelson, and you think Grab's saying they're going to work on like leadership, it would work out, but I'm just not seeing it, man. I don't know. They played fine in the other weeks, though. Nothing spectacular. They looked fine, bare minimum, fine as you could get, but they didn't look dominant. You expect G2 to look dominant. You expect them to win every game, and they're not by far and away ahead like they were before. But that's pretty much it, though, guys. I got to head out. Actually, I got to go do some more things. But we will be coming at you with the LCS and LEC weekly recaps. I think tomorrow, actually, you guys should be getting both of them. I might try to get one done before the stream tonight. Maybe, depends if I have the free time. But anything you want to say, man, before we, have to head out?
Yeah, it's been a fun. It was sorry for the audio issues. I'll try to get a new mic soon, and. Mm-hmm. It's been a fun week of LCS and LEC, so I can't wait for this week.
Yeah, Warren got what he wanted. TSM won and G2 lost. I mean,
yeah, that's any man's dream.
Yeah, hopefully Cloud9 and G2 can hopefully G2 can bounce back from their slump so far. Just pure slumpage right now from them. I hope they can do well. I hope Cloud9 can continue to improve. Yeah, guys, I'll see you guys later. Like, comment, subscribe. Most of all, enjoy. If you guys manage to catch this on the replay, make sure you guys like the stream. Definitely would always help out. And yeah, hopefully you guys have been enjoying all the new content we've been doing. I pretty much condensed the content down to what you guys have been liking and viewing. And it's been working out pretty well. And you guys have been enjoying it. So that's good enough by me. It's all I personally care about, Didn't want to be putting in so much effort where the results aren't really justifying the means, right? So everything's been working out fine. And that's good for me. See you guys later. Like, comment, subscribe, most of all, enjoy. I'm the Nightwing Way of Life Esports. Signing out, guys. Have a good day. See you later. Deuces. And yeah, TSM sucks. As you guys already